For those of us on AI subscriptions, things are getting more expensive. Or actually, they're not. They're just getting worse. Subscriptions on almost all of the major providers that I've been using for the last year in the last 3 months have all, except for OpenAI and ChatGPT subscription, let's keep hoping, except for that one, all of them I have found are getting worse. The models themselves, I'm not going to talk about that. They might be getting worse. Some people are speculating that Opus has gotten worse over the last few months, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm talking about the features and availability of what we get in the subscriptions. And there is a very clear effort now that I think the industry is latching on to, and the rest of us just need to grab on and bear with it, that the subscriptions we have, whether it's the $20 plan or the $100 plans or the $200 plans, these are going to end up having less than what we thought. And that's part of the AI providers giving us heavily subsidized subscriptions. And we all knew this. Like, we knew that this day was coming. We probably thought it was just going to mean everything get more expensive. But that's not what's happening. Is really what's coming first is that $20 plan, of which I have many of those. Those $20 plans are not going to be as good as they used to be, and they are probably not even going to be usable for development, at least for serious work. Now, you could argue that you couldn't get a lot of work done on a $20 plan, but I find that I can switch between a lot of these throughout the day, and I'm maybe not the greatest use case because I'm not developing 8 hours nonstop a day, and I can swap through the different model providers at $20 a plan pretty quickly and get my work done. I'm doing that as an educator just because I want to understand all the different harnesses and all the different models, and I do that. I don't necessarily recommend others do that, but that is becoming more difficult to do. Let's just recap what has happened in the last 4 months of these plans. So back in February, actually back in January, Anthropic first, what we thought was an accident, but they cracked down on using Claude subscriptions and anything other than Claude tools. And that is one of the ways they're gating us. I'd say the three major ways that all of this bad news is coming at us subscription people, particularly the cheaper subscriptions, is one, they're gating us and making the harness the moat, meaning that's the thing that makes them special, not their model. As the models all become similar, especially the state-of-the-art models, and they all become equally as good, more or less for generic coding tasks, we are being gated by their harnesses. So in the case of Anthropic, they said, nope, you got to use the Claude. You can't use our subscription through other harnesses, OpenCode, Pi, any of the other Hermes, anything that you might use, you can't do that. Well, of course, there was an outcry. We all shouted, how dare you change our plan while we're in the middle of paying for the plan? And then they said in February, oh, my bad. We didn't mean that. It was a mistake. It was actually, I think the things I was reading out of Anthropic on Twitter at the time were that was an accident in the documentation and they didn't mean to do it. Then they changed their mind back again in March and said, oh, no, we did mean to do that. And now we are definitely changing the policy. And that has stuck since March. You can't use these subscriptions, even, I believe, the 200 max plan subscriptions outside of Claude tools. That means Claude Desktop, which includes Claude Cowork and Claude Chat, and then Claude Code, which is now in the desktop as well as in the TUI. And then you get the web interface. You can't use other harnesses. And now there are a lot of great other harnesses that I like, that I want to try. Claude Code isn't the only game in town anymore. And so we don't get to do that. There's lots of other ways to do it, but most of those ways are going to require you to pay the API token pricing, which, as we know, is much more expensive, 5 to 10 times more expensive in some cases. So it's not as great. And I think this is the trend. The second way they're limiting us more and more now is that they are decreasing the rate limits. So the hourly, daily, weekly, monthly limits are becoming more strict. At least it definitely feels that way. I'm not sure that anyone's officially said, except for maybe GitHub Copilot. I'm not sure the other ones have officially said they are giving us less, but it sure feels like it. Now, one of those reasons to give them a fair chance is like some of the new Anthropic models, they tend to be chattier, so they're putting out more tokens, which means you get less for each prompt. You're spending more of your subscription for each reply. So that might be part of it. But I have certainly felt, and I don't think I'm alone here, for the last 3 months that I am able to use less and less Claude with my existing subscription. And the third way I see that they're limiting our availability on the subscriptions is through not giving us the top models. In fact, Opus is kind of the worst offender here because of all of the plans and all the subscriptions and all the providers. Opus is by far the most expensive. But Opus isn't the only offender. It's just one of them. The other one I learned about recently that maybe isn't a new thing, I just didn't quite understand it, is that Gemini 3.1 Pro is only available to business users on an additional subscription called Gemini Code Assist. I have a team that we have access to Gemini through our Google Workspace, which gives us Gmail and Google Docs and the Drive and all that stuff. And we've been using Nano Banana and Gemini on our work subscriptions in the 3.1 Pro. We've been using all that stuff for, I don't know, at least a year. And I thought we had some sort of limits that I was never hitting inside of my Workspace subscription, but it turns out I probably was wrong. In fact, using the Gemini CLI for coding, I don't get access to 3.1 Pro. I just don't have that in the Gemini. I have Gemini Fast and a couple other things, but I don't get the Pro model. And I couldn't figure it out. And because a friend was asking, how could they sign up to get Pro? And I was like, don't we all have these subscriptions? And then they thought, oh, I could use that Google One subscription. Well, that's only for personal accounts. That is not for you working people. If you're a working software engineer, you don't get to have those kind of things. You got to pay for something else. And that is hidden inside of Google Cloud. There is a thing called Gemini Code Assist, which is a whole different subscription, which gives you access to the Pro model through coding utilities like the Gemini TUI and the Gemini Anti-Gravity, whatever you want to call it, the GUI. So if you're going to do coding, you don't get to use Gemini best models unless you pay for an additional subscription that starts at $20 a month per developer. We saw 2 more actions this week that were limiting our availability to get to models on existing subscriptions. I also have a GitHub Copilot subscription, and now GitHub is saying that they're changing individual Copilot plans to give us all less, particularly the cheapest plan. The $20 plan will no longer have access to Opus at all. So Claude Opus is out, and your best model might be Sonnet, or really for me, that's going to be GPT-5.4. And we can still all use those, but we're going to probably have more limits and less availability, and just everything's just kind of bad news on that front. Sounds like GitHub is having capacity problems on their infrastructure. And as I understand it, when you're using Claude models on your GitHub Copilot subscription, those are different servers than Anthropic's. It's not just an open router proxy shooting you back over to Anthropic, because I've noticed that when my Claude subscription APIs are down, I can just switch over to GitHub Copilot and use Opus and Sonnet on that subscription, and they all work. Same with Bedrock. Seems like it's separate servers and separate data centers. But since GitHub Copilot is having these capacity issues, no one else can even sign up for new plans right now. And I'm just glad I have one, because I wouldn't be able to use Copilot at all on GitHub if I hadn't already signed up. And then lastly, we learned that Anthropic is teasing or testing out the waters of new signups for Claude subscriptions won't have access to Claude Code at all. And I think that this is the trend we're seeing. The only ones that aren't doing something yet is OpenAI. Thank you, OpenAI, for not controlling us in this way on the ChatGPT subscriptions. We're able to use those models anywhere on any harness without feeling like we're arbitrarily limited or that it's getting worse, and they've been fine with that. So let's hope they continue that trend. But in my case, I am seeing, since I have so many of these different $20 plans, and I also use OpenCode Zen, and I'm looking at Bedrock and OpenRouter to just try those out. So I'm kind of dabbling across all of that. I don't generally advise most people do that, by the way. I think that it's better for you to just focus on one plan and maybe have a second subscription as a backup in case of outages. But really focus on one and get to know those models. That's my recommendation when you're first starting out. But if you're a pro, if you've been doing this for years, obviously you know what you're doing. For me, I just, as an educator, I feel like I need to dabble and try all these things. So I'm jumping back and forth to figure out the differences. And it's not going to be great for a future of the low-cost subscriptions. But it feels like the $20 plan is, in the future, really not going to be for professional developers. We just won't be able to even have $20 plans and have access to coding unless you're on OpenAI. And the Primeagen is seeing this as a good thing. And I'm on the fence. I'm not really sure. Like, he's talking about the fact that these are so heavily subsidized. That has created an artificial market where we've got people on really cheap plans doing a lot of coding and pumping out a lot of code that may or may not be realistic in the long term, and creating a market that obviously we're all addicted to these subscriptions now to do our jobs, but that has negative effects in the long term because it's not realistic that businesses can just operate code all day long with $20 plans per person. I'm a little bit mixed on that because I understand that there is a global market here and that the US's hosted models are the state-of-the-art models, and that everyone else has got to get the subscriptions to our models unless they want to use open weight or Chinese and French models, and those models don't tend to be as good. So it's too bad that, especially those in markets where $20 is a lot of money. Maybe they're a 10x market like India, where it's 10x to their currency. And I sympathize for those people. And I really appreciate OpenCode for actually creating a plan designed for that. If you've not heard, and I'm not getting paid by OpenCode or anything, but if you go over to opencode.ai and hit the Go button at the top, Go is their $10 subscription that gives you access to some pretty decent open weight models, including Minimax, which I'm experimenting with in Hermes right now as my primary personal assistant model. And they've also got the latest Quins and the Mimos and the Kimis and the GLM. GLM is my next one. GLM 5.1 is the next one I want to try. But these are obviously near state of the art, but not quite state of the art models, but they're at a significant cost reduction, especially the Minimax models. It's amazing the fraction of the price of tokens that I can get out of those versus Sonnet and Opus. And they're really designing this, I feel like, for secondary markets where a dollar is quite more expensive and people still want to develop. They still want to use these tools and be software engineers, where we're kind of suddenly expecting everyone to have access to an AI model, which is a weird thing when it didn't even exist 5 years ago, that we all suddenly now use these things all day to get our jobs done. And so I really applaud them for providing a development-focused subscription that gives you some access and some tokens to these models, and providing you much more model availability than you might get from Claude or ChatGPT subscriptions. So you might want to go check that out. And then this is the weird segue to the sponsor of this episode, which is me. Let me go get Business Bret. Hi, I'm Business Bret, and let's talk about the Guild. This video, in fact, was inspired by a conversation I was having in the Guild about GitHub Copilot's new subscription limits and not providing us Opus. And what is the Guild? Well, the Guild is something I launched this year. It's called the Agentic DevOps Guild, and it's meant to help anyone who has to deal with infrastructure. If you're a platform engineer, a DevOps engineer, an CI/CD build engineer, if you're a SRE, anything after the commit. If you're in that world, then the challenges with AI right now is that everyone's focused on harnesses and models and skills files and agent files and all these things for development. But those things are also what we have to know for the rest of our workflows. And if you're someone who hasn't quite adopted AI all day, every day, in every part of your job and automated all the toil, then this is maybe a membership for you. It's a membership you can access on my website, and we meet weekly on Zoom. We have an ongoing private community where we're in there every day talking about tools, techniques, new things we've tried, things that didn't work. How do we do sandboxing to protect ourselves from accidentally letting the AI do a Terraform apply to production when we're not ready? How do we put AI more into our CI to reduce the level of toil that we might have in our automation? How do we, as an SRE, take an agent and put together all the different pieces of the puzzle to allow it to see our infrastructure and make judgment calls about failures, all the different parts of our jobs that we had to deal with human toil and tasking? We could possibly automate some or most of that. That's what this membership's all about. We meet, we have courses. I'm building 2 different courses right now. One is on GitHub Actions for professionals, including AI in your CI and your GitHub Actions. And then the second course is on how to set up all the tooling, especially locally, but not just locally, everywhere, but all the tooling you're going to need to have agent harnesses locally that are sandboxed, protected, and isolated with the proper token authorizations and the proper controls, so that you can manage infrastructure without worrying about rogue AIs in your harnesses going out and doing bad things like taking down the database or deleting the backups. We've now had weeks of meetups. We talk about what we're dealing with, the projects we're on. We share knowledge with each other throughout the week. And then as I learn what the group needs, I go and make videos on that stuff that the team gets in real time as I edit the videos. So if that's the kind of thing you want help with, if you want to accelerate your AI adoption in your engineering teams for infrastructure and for production management and recovery and improving your CI, this is the Guild for you. And until we are in a world where this stuff stops changing so rapidly, I think this is the kind of thing that a lot of us are going to need to stay up to date. Is we can't read all day long, we can't play all day long, we have to get work done. That means we're going to need to have a group of mentors that we can throw questions at and ask for support and help and advice on how exactly is the right way that I put a sandboxed agent into my CI platform that isn't at risk of prompt injection, which is something that I'm working on right now for a future video. So I hope you can check that out. And I'll obviously be talking about a lot more in future videos, and I'll see you in the next one.